You miss your ex, you want them back, and you're willing to do whatever it takes. First off, I'm glad you have this attitude. It's important to know what we want in life and to just go out there and get it. Second, I need to warn you against one important and very common mistake that will destroy your chances with your ex and scare them off for good. Hello, I'm Dave, and this is the Breakup Corner. We're here to help you get a second chance with your ex through simple advice that's based in psychology and experience. Getting your ex back isn't easy, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Subscribe for more tips and tricks. Now, what is this big mistake that will ruin your chances with your ex? I'll just come out and say it. It's begging and pleading with your ex for a second chance. Pretty obvious, right? But before you click away from this video, allow me to explain exactly what I mean by this, because chances are you're begging for your ex for a second chance without even realizing it. Not with your words, but with your actions. So let's imagine showing up to your ex's house late at night and telling them that you've changed and that you'll be whoever they need you to be if they'll just take you back. You're on your hands and knees, you're crying, and you're basically a huge mess. I think we all know that this isn't going to be effective outside of a movie or a Disney Plus TV show. But why exactly? Well, I think the obvious reason is that it's pathetic. It makes you look weak. It makes you look unattractive, and it suggests that you don't have any other options or you wouldn't be in such a sorry state. While other people might look at this as romantic, it shows how much you love and care about this person, that you don't care how it makes you look. That's only ever really true in hindsight. So basically, if you do end up back with your ex, then it was romantic and touching. But if you don't, and you usually won't if you're taking this approach, then you're their sad and pathetic ex and you wouldn't take no for an answer. And really, unless they broke up with you because you wouldn't tell them you loved them, this is just a bad idea. But that's not the only reason that this doesn't work. Another important factor is that by begging and pleading with your ex, you're essentially centering yourself in the conversation. You're saying, I know that you said you didn't want me, but I want you enough for the two of us. I know that's not your intention, but it can very easily come off this way and make you seem callous and actually uncaring. Because I'm guessing they raised some real issues during your breakup, and if your response is essentially just, but I love you, then you're not going to win back their heart or their mind. In fact, it will actually push them further away because it will show them that you didn't really listen to them or reflect on what went wrong. Now, I'm not saying that addressing their concerns should be your number one priority right now, but you also don't want to just sweep them under the rug. The most important reason that you shouldn't beg and plead with your ex after a breakup is because it puts pressure on them. You don't want your ex to feel pressure from you directly during this process. Breaking up is stressful. During this time, they'll naturally be drawn to you as a source of comfort and support. While you don't want to be their shoulder to cry on during this time or anything like that, it's still good for them to have this association because it means they think of you as a positive force in their life. But when you actively beg them for a second chance, it strips away all the goodwill that they have towards you. So now when they think about you, they're going to think about how uncomfortable it was for you to beg them for a second chance. So instead of wishing you'd reach out to them and contact them, they're going to hope you just leave them alone and that they don't have to go through that again. This is going to make the whole process of winning them back much harder because they're not going to think twice about responding to your messages or answering the phone or even meeting up with you in person. Now, there are ways to overcome these feelings in your ex, but you're essentially making it harder for yourself without any benefit. You want to remove friction during this process so that talking and reconnecting with you seems to have no downsides. You want your ex to be excited at the thought of talking to you, and begging and pleading is sort of a turd in the punch bowl, metaphorically speaking, of course. So you're probably saying, I never begged and pleaded with my ex, so I'm in the clear, right? Well, I hope that's true, but there are actually very small things you can do that will come across as begging and pleading. While these may not be as extreme as getting on your hands and knees in the rain and asking them to take you back, if you're exhibiting these behaviors consistently, then they're going to scare off your ex in the same way, if not even more so. And that's because they all ring the exact same alarm bells as begging and pleading do. They suggest that you're pathetic, desperate, and delusional, and puts pressure on them to take you back. These behaviors can be extremely subtle. So subtle, in fact, that you not even know you're doing them. Your ex might not even know, but that doesn't matter because they'll affect their feelings at a subconscious level. They'll think, I don't want to talk to them right now, and I'm not actually totally sure why. First off, we need to talk about how you're treating your ex, namely how accommodating you are towards them. So many people who want their exes back will avoid the pitfall of begging for a second chance. And instead, they'll begin treating their ex as kindly as humanly possible, trying to show them that they care about them and they're a good person who will do anything to make them happy. This kind of treatment, within reason, can really make someone fall for you, but only if you're currently in a relationship. Since you two are exes, it will actually scare them off, big time, because it makes it clear that you're heavily invested in them. This kind of investment isn't something your ex is asking for or wanting at this stage of things. Essentially, treating your ex this way creates pressure for reciprocation that they don't want to reciprocate. Think of it like this. Imagine it's your birthday, and you open the door and find a brand new luxury vehicle wrapped in a big bow. Then who hands you the keys? It's a guy you remember from high school. Jeff? Jim? You're not really sure. You two had a couple classes together, but you haven't seen each other in years, and you haven't even thought about them at all. So are you going to be happy about having a new car? Maybe, but more likely you'll be confused and probably a little scared. You'll be asking, why would he do this? And more importantly, what do they want in return? Is this some kind of scam? Is he in love with me? Now, I know that you and your ex are hardly strangers, and offering them a ride to the airport isn't the same as buying them a new car, but there are parallels there that you shouldn't ignore. If you're too nice to your ex, too consistently, it's going to set off alarm bells in their head and create pressure that will just scare them away. So whether you're dropping by with flowers, or offering to help them move, or picking up their favorite type of ice cream, just stop it. You need to treat them warmly and with respect, but not in a way that creates expectation. Another way you may be subconsciously begging your ex for another chance is acting like nothing has changed. Now, this one is quite subtle, but it's important that you recognize that if you want to make it work. If you're struggling to accept the breakup, and I'm sure you are, then that means a part of your subconscious mind is pretending that it hasn't happened. And while I'm sure that you're not calling them honey or picking out engagement rings and asking them what they want for dinner, what you are doing could be just as damaging. Now, it can be as subtle as the way you even look at them, a touch on the arm, or the way that you text them. Basically, if your behavior doesn't reflect the changing of the status quo, this is going to start to worry your ex, the longer it goes on too. It may feel to them like you're not getting the message that things are, in fact, over. This will show them that you don't actually respect their decision to break up and are just treating this like a fight that you can sweep under the rug. If you act this way, it's going to frustrate your ex a lot, and it will make them want to avoid you like the plague. They may start treating you more and more coldly just to try to get the message across. However they respond, it's going to put a lot of strain on your relationship. I always tell people that they need to treat their exes like exes. You shouldn't be cold to them, but you also can't be red hot either. A little bit of detachment will show your ex that you respect the breakup and you're moving on. And this is going to do more to win them back than any romantic gesture. Of course, as the reattraction phase continues, you can start bringing back some of the old inside jokes and flirty looks that drew them to you in the first place. Just read the room, don't overdo it right away, and you'll probably be fine. Another way you may be subconsciously begging your ex for a chance is by being too readily available. So if your ex can tell that you're there for the taking, they're not going to want you. I'm sorry, but this is just human nature. We want things that are scarce and in high demand. So it's better to make it seem like you're busy and being pursued by thousands of sexy singles who just won't leave you alone. When they picture you, it should be like one of those old Axe commercials where you're running from a pack of screaming hotties desperate for a sniff. Okay, that's a little extreme, but you get my point. Make it seem like you're busy, and your ex will wonder, what are they suddenly so busy with? Do they have a new job? Are they exploring new hobbies? Are they seeing someone new? If you can make them wonder what you're up to, then you're in their head. And if you're in their head, it's only a matter of time before you're in their bed. This is all to say, don't respond to their messages within minutes. If you two are going to meet up, don't say, anytime, whenever's good for you, I'm free as a bird. And for God's sake, give them more space than seems necessary. I've seen so many people scare their ex off by being too available at a time like this. Now, all the tips we've talked about today really come down to one thing, and that's your mindset. It doesn't matter if you follow all of this advice to a T. If you don't have the right mindset, you're going to scare off your ex. And that mindset is one of confidence, abundance, and mystery. You want your ex to suspect you're interested, but not be totally sure. You want them to know that you have other options, that you're living your best life, and that if they don't take you back, you're going to move on to bigger and better things before they even know it. This is the mindset that you need to cultivate. I know that you're not feeling this way right now, but the good news is that you can fake it until you make it. Just imagine that you do feel this way, that you may want to reconnect with your ex, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world. Now, don't let these feelings dictate your actions in every given situation. So maybe you and your ex are supposed to meet up, but they have to cancel at the last minute. Don't suggest 10 other times that you're free. Don't get angry and blow up at them. And don't get snippy and then go cry about it while wishing they loved you like you love them. Remember, you're a catch. This is their loss as much as it is yours. And even if you never see them again, you're gonna come out on top. And you can master this mindset. You can win back your ex in almost any situation. If you're looking for information here, then I suggest that you go to xbackquiz.com right now. Just take the free quiz there. It only takes a couple minutes, and you can find out how your ex feels about you and what your chances are of winning them back. It will also tell you exactly what you need to do right now to make this happen. So again, that's xbackquiz.com. Thank you for watching, everyone. If you don't mind, I'd love it if you'd like this video and subscribe to my channel right now. It just takes one click and it helps me out more than you can know. And while you're at it, why don't you leave me a comment to let me know what country you're watching from? It honestly always blows my mind to see that people from all over the world are watching this. Anyway, I'm Dave, and I'll see you next time here on the Breakup Corner.